The women's basketball team has snapped their 22-game regular season losing streak by beating Central Arkansas last night. The low-scoring game came down to the final minute when Cartasia Macklin and the Salukis defense played their most physical game of the year and held UCA to take their first win of the season. The Dogs won this one 39-37. Saluki guard Hannah Shores says the team has constantly been adjusting and things are finally coming together.
All by itself, this team was going to be the new team. It ended up making us get the win.
It wasn't like we won and we're going to continue this.
The women's basketball team hopes to pick up some more momentum when they travel to SEMO on Wednesday. And today's play of the game comes from the Chicago Bears. But it didn't happen in the Gridiron. It happened in Coal City. The village was one of the local communities affected by the tornadoes that swept through the state on Sunday. Robbie Gold and two of his teammates were glad to assist their fans in any way they could. The men's basketball team will be back in action in an hour and a half as they face Austin Peay in Clarksville, Tennessee. They'll have to contend with Governor's center Chris Horton, who is leading the Ohio Valley Conference in rebounding. Desmar Jackson is third in the Missouri Valley Conference in scoring, with fellow guard Marcus Filias second in the conference in field goal percentage. The Salukis are looking for their first win of the season and their first road win since last year's ESPN Bracket Buster victory over Drake University. More than 200 student athletes were honored for their academic achievements last night here at SIU. The Saluki Scholars Reception honored athletes who received a GPA of 3.0 or better. With a student athlete population of about 360, Chancellor Rita Chang says their ultimate victory is when they come to the arena not in a uniform, but in a cap and gown. The Missouri Valley Conference announced its Defensive Player of the Week for volleyball as the award finds its way to a Saluki junior. Defensive specialist Alex Rivera earned the honor for the second time this season. This marks the second week in a row that a Saluki won Defensive Player of the Week honors, with Meg Vigors winning last week. Rivera helped SIU clinch a playoff spot last Friday by recording 23 digs in the matchup against Evansville. Southern prepares for two matchups this weekend when they play Illinois State on Friday and Indiana State on Saturday to close out the regular season. And the injury-riddled Chicago Bears limped into Lambeau last night to take on their division rivals, the Green Bay Packers. In the Packers' first offensive series, quarterback Aaron Rodgers takes a sack and fractures his left collarbone. He would not return to the game and could possibly be out for 3 weeks. While the Packers tried to regroup, the Monsters of the Midway marched down the field time after time. Josh McCown threw for 272 yards with touchdowns to Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey. Green Bay came back strong in the third, but Chicago would not back down. The Bears left Green Bay with their heads held high and a 27-20 victory. Two Saluki football players were named to the Missouri Valley All-Newcomer team. Junior transfers Malcolm Agnew and Thomas Kinney joined the 22-man team made up of players from all over the MVFC. Agnew's first year as a Saluki running back started off rough with an injury, but he turned into SIU's leading rusher with 888 yards. Kinney transferred from Winona State and became an extremely efficient kicker, nailing 18 of his 24 field goals and 40 out of 41 point-after attempts. And Saluki lineman Ethan Worth was honored as MVFC Offensive Lineman of the Week following his performance in the game against SEMO. Worth earned the award after the Saluki offense gained over 400 total yards last Saturday, over half of that in the run game. It was the first time in 14 games that the Salukis had a 100-yard rusher. Worth said it was the team's mentality that made them succeed.
A lot of people, people say, take care of Youngstown, just play our game.
Worth and the rest of the offense will look to continue their success this Saturday in their home game against Youngstown State.